I'll tell you what the biggest issue is. The biggest issue is debt. And I was just saying this earlier today. 50 years ago, most people had their house paid off by the time they're 40. By the time they're 45, 50, they'd have a bit of money in the bank, right? So had COVID come along 50 years ago, a lot more people would have told the government or their employer to shove it. We've got enough to get through this. But today, 40% of people retire with a mortgage. That's up from 10% in 1992. Nothing controls people more than debt. Because even though the government, a lot of people can see through all the government lies and spin, but can they do anything about it? No, because they've got a job, they've got bills to pay, and by the time they do that, not only does one person now have to do it, two people have to do it. So in 1985, when Paul Keating lifted capital controls, the four major banks had $8 billion in foreign debt. By 2008, they had $800 billion in foreign debt. That took the house prices from 4 times average earnings to 12 to 14 times average earnings. That meant two parents had to go back to work. That then invented the childcare industry, right, which means we're losing control of our children. Then, after that, we then had the Button Plan. This was to help, bring down the car industry in South Australia. We let our manufacturing go offshore. 40 years later, we've now got people that, whereas once upon a time, a lot of, like I said, my year in 85, I was in grade 10. Half the people that I started grade 8 with had left by grade 10 because they went and got trades. By the time I finished grade 12, I probably finished with, one class out of 4 that started in grade 8 in Chinchilla. Certainly my sister did. So we're now 40 years later, we don't have enough skills in this country. But what happened by 2008 when there was that $800 billion, there was the GFC. So in order to stop people from losing their houses, they had to let more immigrants in. The way they did that was allow foreign students to buy houses when they were studying here. So that meant the parents of foreign students would buy the house, and then that's how the university sector has taken off, right? So here we are 40 years later, and throughout all this, we privatised all our infrastructure. So the government's struggling to make ends meet. Individuals are struggling to make ends meet. And because we've now got, people are enslaved to debt throughout their working career, that they can't just give the middle finger to the boss, right? And so the government can get away with pushing all these lies because they know that, the people have to follow, but even the bureaucrats. I mean, I get contacted by a lot of whistleblowers, right? We don't have whistleblower protections in this country, or very good ones. There's a bloke in South Australia, Richard Boyle, who tried to blow the whistle on what the tax office was doing to small business. He could end up in jail, for Pete's sakes. So the biggest issue is control, but it's actually not the government, it's the financial control that we all need to be able to put that roof over our heads. We all have to earn a living.